So this video is coming off the heels of my monster video. It's kind of a different topic, but it is relative. You don't have to watch my monster video to understand this video, but it would help. Okay, so in this video, I'm not really going to be talking about monsters per se. I'm going to be talking about the hierarchy with animals and humans, and I'm going to be talking about why the Bible refers to dogs as being a very bad thing. Okay, and I'm going to talk about Jezebel and her dogs, and I'm going to talk about this is like a dog video. Okay, and I've decided to go ahead and talk about the Amalekites a little bit more. All right. Okay, so the Bible is designed to help multiple people inside their own culture, inside their own understanding. In some cultures, it's very bad to be associated with an animal, like the Greeks. To be an animal was very disrespectful of the animal-human hierarchy. But in other cultures, being part animal was a good thing. So God honestly uses both. But the Bible often refers to dogs as a very, very bad thing. Mostly because it's talking about people, okay? It's talking about outcasts. Everyone in the ancient world were referring to dogs, usually referring to dogs as outcasts. People who were kicked out of the city, okay, out of their kingdom. They were being associated with, the dogs that are wild in the wilderness, who are like mangy and crazy, and, they're not broken, okay? They're not broken animals. So that's why it's very important for you to know that everyone referred to outcasts as dogs, especially the Greeks, okay? And so I think the Egyptians did it a little bit too. They were referred to as outcasts. So when it's talking about dogs in the Bible, it's not talking about literal dogs, okay? This is very important. It's not talking about little dogs. It's talking about people who are in sin, okay? They're fallen. And even more important, the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Bible, they always push that these animals in the Bible, the unicorns, the dragons, the lions, the snakes, okay, they're referred to as people, okay? God uses these mythological, even the mythological creatures are supposed to represent people, okay? For the most part. And yes, maybe some of those things are real, okay, but really, all these animals in the Bible are referred to as people. And this is also important. So these people hated, they're referring to, bad people as dogs, but they all had dogs as pets. This is the Israelites, the Jews had dogs as pets. So the Bible doesn't hate dogs. It's a reference to outcasts. In the Bible and in the Greek culture, there was an animal-human hierarchy. In the Greek culture, it was very disrespectful to lower yourself to an animal status, right? A god turning a man into an animal was a form of punishment. Zeus turned King Lycaon into a wolf, because he was eating human flesh. Medusa was turned into a snake, which is probably the lowest form of life, according to the Greeks, okay, because she, in their eyes, she did fornication in a temple, but we already talked about that in this video, what really happened. Dionysus turned a bunch of pirates into dolphins and he threw them into the abyss because they were trying to steal his boat and steal his stuff. Centaurs represented men who would R-word women, okay, and they would take them away. Okay, so centaurs were men who would get really drunk really easily and take them away. And satyrs is almost the same thing. Okay, say in the Greeks' perspective, the reason why I'm saying this because people think that the Greeks liked these things. They didn't. They said that these things were evil. That's why it's so stupid when people put this stuff up in their house thinking that I respect Greek culture. You're dumb. You don't understand anything. So stupid. Okay, so satyrs, they represented very similar to the centaurs. They represented men who would just get drunk and party all the time. Okay, and all this stuff is mixed in with sexual sin. Okay, very nasty sexual stuff. But God mixes that stuff up a lot. Okay, obviously humans are supposed to be above animals. Okay, but God, something very interesting happens in the creation, right? He makes animals and plants and rocks first, and then he makes humans. And then God has lots and lots of Bible passages about you climbing this ladder on top of all these animals. And you're like, what does that mean? Okay. God uses the philosophy and understanding of you climbing up animals to elevate yourself. Okay. To make you as close to God as possible. Okay. And God uses the philosophy of you climbing that ladder. You have to go through the rocks and the trees and the wilderness and the animals. You have to go through them. You have to go through the wilderness to get to God, okay? That's that trial and tribulation thing I already talked about. You have to go through them to get closer to God, right? You're not born right next to God, right? All right? And know that God isn't saying that you're more important than you're less important than animals. God is trying to tell you you can use animals, these mythological animals, to elevate your understanding, okay? You can learn from the animals. You can do all kinds of stuff. God uses his own creation to elevate yourself, okay, in your Bible study, okay? But in the Greek culture, they had a very similar hierarchy, okay? They believed that humans were above animals, and to be called an animal was very disrespectful. And there was and they would kick you out of. Okay, all these people had very interesting rules. There was a couple of really good reasons why you could get kicked out of your kingdom, okay, in ancient Near East and the Egyptians and with the Greeks, okay. One really good reason to get kicked out is if you were an atheist, okay. Okay, you can get kicked out of your kingdom if you're an atheist. That's why, and it says the book of Revelation, those who go without are dogs. Those are the people who went without God are considered dogs and outcasts. A very bad version, okay? And I really wanted to bring this up because everyone loves the Greeks and the Egyptians and all the Assyrians. Oh, they're just so cool. I'm just letting you know that you being an atheist back then was a very bad idea. Actually, in most of these cultures, they would probably stone you to death because they thought that stuff was honest. They thought you had an evil spirit attached to you. Atheism was almost unheard of in biblical times, okay? That's why it's barely in the Bible, but God knew atheism was going to be a problem later, so that's why it's kind of hidden in the Bible. Because in biblical times, it was almost unheard of to be an atheist. Okay? These people would have hated you if you were an atheist. Okay, because you think you are gonna go hang out with these people like they think you're real cool. They would have killed you if they didn't kick you out first. Okay, and another thing I wanted to bring up: everybody loves the Greeks. Oh, the Greeks are just so smart. Yeah, you're right. They had some things right. So with the Greeks, you being part animal or part monkey would have been very degrading. If you were to go back in time, or you were to bring a Greek person here, and you would have told them that you were a part monkey, they would have think you were disgusting. Okay? I have to say that, because everyone loves the Greeks so much. And they would, kick you out for multiple reasons. These ancient people will probably not even hang out with you if you're an atheist, or if you thought you were a monkey. And I have to bring that up. And I know the Greeks have Minotaurs, and they have wolf people, like I already mentioned in that monster video, okay? Yeah, they had half beast, half animal characters, but they were always associated with being bad. Okay? The Minotaur was a bad guy. He represented chaos. Okay? Being part animal was very chaotic to the Greeks. Are you nuts? That doesn't make sense. You're disrespecting Zeus if you thought that you were part animal. Okay? So, you believe in evolution is a huge downgrade. Not an upgrade. It's a downgrade. Another really good reason to get kicked out back then is I know these guys were up to no good. I knew they were doing really bad witchcraft, but even they had really strict rules against really bad witchcraft. They considered atheism witchcraft. Okay, they considered an atheist as someone who was part demonic. I'm not kidding. They thought atheists were part demonic. That's because you might be. Okay. But they had really strict rules against witchcraft. They'd exile you if you're doing something really, really bad. And that is why I'm going to bring up the Amalekites one more time. Okay? I believe that God uses the Amalekites to explain all of this. The Amalekites You can translate the Amalek in multiple different ways. It either means wolf or dogman, okay? Or it means someone who drinks like a dog. I believe the Amalekites were kicked out of probably Greece or Anatolia for either being atheists or doing really bad witchcraft, with shape-shifting witchcraft, okay? Because being a shapeshifter is even illegal in the Native American customs, right? Even they say that is prohibited. So back then, they probably prohibited it. You becoming a shapeshifter, doing something really, really horrible and nasty, they probably would have exiled them, okay? The Greeks, I think they probably came from Greece, or they came from Anatolia, and they were doing no good, okay? Because everyone hated the Amalekites. It's very strange that everyone hated the Amalekites. The Egyptians hated the Amalekites, the Greeks hated the Amalekites, everyone in Anatolia hated the Amalekites, who are probably the Luca people, okay? Everyone hated them, probably because they were atheists, or they were part animal, okay? And I know the movies make it seem like it's really cool to turn into a wolf or something. Like, oh, he's fine, he's hot. It's so funny because even in the movies, if they make them look like gross and dangerous, people still think it's cool. They still think it's cool. You know, have you ever heard of somebody who has come in contact with a skinwalker or a shapeshifter? The first thing they say is how attractive and hot they are. No. Okay? They're always depicted as being disgusting. They smell like rotting flesh. They're horrifying. Okay? Some kind of shapeshifter isn't attractive. That's what the devil does. He likes to put lipstick on his pigs. He wants you to think that this stuff is all cool. Like, turning into a wolf is really cool when it's actually disgusting. If that's what's really going on here, okay? It's repulsive. It's demonic and gross. And I really want to use the atheist thing, okay? The reason, and I actually heard this from another preacher, okay? He believes the Amalekites were atheists. I say that they are probably shapeshifters, but God probably uses both, okay? The reason why some people say that the Amalekites were atheists, because whenever it brings up the Amalekites in the Bible, it uses this very, very strange Hebrew word. Here, let me read it in English first. Remember that Amalek did to you along the way as you came out of Egypt, how he happened upon you. Okay, so whenever it mentions the Amalekites, it'll either get translated by chance or how he happened upon you. That Hebrew word, korka, I think it's korka or something like that. It's a very strange word that is only ever used with the Amalekites. It's nowhere else in the Bible except with the Amalekites. Okay, and it basically means by luck or by chance or by randomness. Okay, so people are translating that as the Amalekites believed in randomness. They believed in luck and by chance because they didn't believe in a higher authority. And I'm not kidding. God probably uses the Amalekites to explain all kinds of stuff. Okay, because later, the Amalekites were mentioned later in the Bible in the book of Esther with Haman, because Haman was an Agagite. He was a descendant of the Amalekites. He did something like he tossed like dice or he flipped a coin or something like that. He used some device to decide how the Jews were going to die or when the Jews were going to die. Okay? So that is also might be some gambling stuff because it says it sounds like he was tossing dice or flipping a coin. He was using some sort of device to decide what to do next. Okay, he believed in randomness, and there might be some hinting to gambling in that. Okay, I think God uses the Amalekites to explain a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, but also one thing I want to bring up, you know how people say it's just a coincidence? That reminds me of what's going on here, okay? They just believed in coincidences, okay? And it's so messed up. That is more annoying sometimes than being a shape-shifting monster, okay? It is so annoying. Even Christians do that. When Christians say, oh, it's just a coincidence. There's no meaning in that. That's just a coincidence. That was just by random that the Bible passage matches with the other Bible passages. No, well, your Amalekite is showing. You're kind of being an Amalekite because there are connections all throughout the Bible and throughout all of history. Okay? You believing that all of it's just a coincidence is an Amalekite. In my opinion, yes. God uses Amalekites to explain a bunch of different things, I think. So what God will do sometimes, because God knows that everyone loves these cultures, like the Greeks and the Romans. Oh, they're so cool. And then the Hindu religion is so cool. And the Egyptians are so cool. God will use one person's culture to expose the other person's culture. Okay? Since you guys all respect all the Greeks so much, well, let me share something with you. Okay? So, the Greeks had a Cerberus. It was a hellhound. Okay? And sometimes they're mixing with humans because there's a representation that these hellhounds are people in real life. Okay? Yes, you can say they're demons, but they're people too. So, they had Cerberus, who was sometimes mixed in with human. And they would, they're bad. They would guard hell to make sure the people in hell stayed in hell. And the devil had Cerberus. They were like the devil's bodyguards. They were the devil's cherubs. They're the devil's throne guardians. Okay, all right. So for a Greek person would look at these hellhounds, or a guy holding the hellhounds as pets, as the devil. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, so if a Greek person were to see these Hindu gods, or several Hindu gods who have hellhounds as pets, okay, but in their religion, it's good. And also, these dog lion things in front of palaces, if a Greek person were to see this, they'd say, this kingdom represents hell. That man holding dogs and who is obviously on fire is the devil. Because apparently, if a Christian tells you that these things are the devil, you won't listen. But maybe if a Greek person tells you, hey, these kingdoms represent the devil and they represent hell, you will listen. Okay? A Greek person would have seen these temples and say, this kingdom represents hell. Those are hellhounds. They're not... Because in their religion, in the Hindu and the Buddhist religion, these things are supposed to be protecting you. They're guarding you. The only thing that these things are guarding you from is from you going into heaven. And they're making sure you don't leave your kingdom of hell. Alright? A Greek person would have known exactly what this was. And maybe you will listen if I say it if a Greek says it. So we're going to talk about Jezebel and her dogs now. Because there's a lot of revelation in this. First of all, before Jezebel died, it says that she put on makeup. She put on makeup because she probably knew she was about to die. And in this video, I talked about why ancient Near East and Canaanite women would dress really nice before they were going to die. They would dress in wedding veils and they'd get themselves really fancy looking because they thought they were going to go marry Baal. Baal was their husband. They were getting ready to meet their maker. So that's probably why Jezebel put on a bunch of makeup on before she was going to die. She thought she was going to go meet with her husband. She wanted to look nice. Okay? And then she got pushed out of her window. And she got lowered to dog status. Okay? A Greek person would have seen this as her being leveled down to an animal status forever. Okay? She was at in the same league as the dogs, wild animals, forever. Okay? And she was resting in pieces with her dogs. She is resting in pieces. Really think about what's going on here. These were probably her dogs. Okay? That is the crazy part. Because what did I say in the beginning of the video? In the beginning of the video, I said that historians and stuff say that these upper class people, even in the Israelite camp, even in the Jewish camp, the queens and stuff, and the people who had money had dogs as pets, as throne guardians. Okay, it's so funny because this is foreshadowing to everyone who keeps these stupid dogs in their house. Okay, she thought those things were there to protect her, but they actually ate her and killed her. If that's any indication of what's gonna happen if you keep doing this stuff right here. Okay, her own dogs ate her. All right. Oh, they are supposed to be protecting her. They are my throne guardians. No. Okay, your protectors will turn against you as soon as you die. These things are not here to protect you. All right. God commands you to rise above these animals. Okay, these idols, and also in the Bible it warns you again what's going to happen. And you, O devastated one, what will you do? Though you dress yourself in scarlet, though you adorn yourself with gold jewelry, Though you enlarge your eyes with paint, you adorn yourself in vain. Your lovers despise you. They want to take your life. Okay, and this isn't just talking about idols. This is talking about how people will defend the devil. Okay, people will defend their atheism. People will defend their beliefs, their bad, demonic, evil, satanic beliefs. Okay, and these people are not going to be your friend in the end. Okay, you have to believe in Christians and you have to believe in God. Okay, they're not. They might think they're helping you, but they're actually here to take your life. Not just talking about idols, talking about people. People who defend their idiocy. They defend their very evil ideals of evolution and atheism and doing something else in a false religion, right? People defend their devil. So it sounds like the Greeks had all their stuff together, right? No, they didn't. Because this is what happens when you don't have the Holy Spirit. You become unbalanced. Like in the Hindu religion, they like animals too much, alright? They will gladly let people starve on the street, but they'll worship animals, okay? This is why God hates idols. One of the many reasons is because, especially back then, and this is still happening now, of course, people will give all their food to a stupid statue, but they will gladly go let their young children starve on the street. Okay, they will gladly give all their stuff to a real live animal, but the people can go starve. Okay, they would literally just put all of their food in front of an idol. All right, and I know what people are going to say. In the Bible, they were doing animal sacrifices too and offering it to God. Yes, but they were allowed to eat the meat afterwards. Okay, that's the difference. If you read the Bible. But that's untrue with these Egyptians and the Hindu and ancient Near East. If you touch this idol's food, it meant you're going to be cursed. You had to let all that food slowly rot. Okay, dumb. So dumb. And I'm not just picking on India. I'm picking on even in America that has happened. In America, people will gladly go save some animals. And I'm not saying you can't do that. I'm saying people need to be above animals. Okay? If you're spending $5,000 on your dog's collar while people are starving on the street, that's an unbalance. Okay, even in America, sadly, their animal abuse was illegal before child abuse. Even in America, that was a problem because everywhere is unbalanced. People are imbalanced everywhere. In America, it took a long time for child abuse to even be illegal. Animal abuse was illegal before child abuse. That is sickening. Okay, anyway. So back to the Greeks, the Greek culture, they said humans were above animals, but because they thought that and because they were unbalanced, looks like they were torturing animals for fun. They didn't have their stuff together. They sounded like a young Jeffrey Dahmer. Okay? Don't you know psychopaths torture animals for fun? Oh. And again, I have to bring this stuff up because everyone loves the Greeks and the Romans so much. First of all, they wouldn't hang out with you, and you wouldn't want to hang out with them either. Okay, you would literally hate each other on several different reasons. Okay, the God of the Bible has been the only one there for you. Alright, the only one who accepts you and has the correct measurement, the correct balance for all of this. No, you can't worship animals, but no, you can't torture animals for fun either. Give me a break. It seems like common sense, but no one gets that. Only accepting Jesus can make you balance. Only having the Holy Spirit can make you balance. Of course, you can have animals as pets. Of course, you can go save animals. But you really need to be saving people too, okay? You need to be saving people from those hellhounds. So in the Bible, we have to say this again, alright? Only through Jesus can you elevate yourself. Only through God can you elevate yourself. And if you don't, when you die, you're going to be degraded, okay? You're going to go down on your belly like Lucifer, okay? You're going to be down, really far down on that food chain. Even a real life snake on earth is going to be more clean than you in hell, okay? I'm not kidding. Okay, that's why God did that hierarchy in the book of Genesis, because God is trying to explain something. You have to climb that ladder and meet God in the clouds. Like in the book of Revelation, it says you have to meet God in the clouds. You have to do that because when you die, you're going to be at the level of the lowest dog, okay? You're going to be below the rocks. You're going to be below that, okay? The dirt on earth is going to be more clean than you are, all right? You're going to be at the bottom of the food chain forever, all right? So please think about this stuff, guys, and thank you.